Hi, and welcome to another edition where we're going to run through who's left in our tournament. It's come down to 24 people, but before we do that, one of our main guys, Budge, here he is. Here's the photo. If they can just push that photo up. Who are they, Budge? You know your
Paul, there was only one guy didn't get, and you tell us. But it's Ozzy Ardiles, ironically, the first guy, outfield player to wear number 1. When they won the World Cup, he was number 1. Couldn't believe it. Mark Falco, we met him with Colin. Charlie Pigram.
Spurs. He's a racehorse owner.
And Chris Houghton, we actually met him. Durban City anniversary, 25th, remember, 84. They came out to play Liverpool Spurs.
I didn't realise he was the size of a jockey.
Yeah, he's not
played
the biggest
for
of
Ireland,
guys.
played for Spurs. And then Paul Miller.
Paul, I didn't know him, Paul.
Centre-half.
Big centre-half.
But the legends in the middle, Charlie Pigram from Spurs. He was up there with Boney, Tony Hind, who's the agent for Moore, and all of them. They're all up at a function yesterday.
Great.
So send me this photo. Well done, Charlie.
How come Charlie got a jersey on, no jacket?
No, he's a goalie. Goalies do that.
Okay.
And nice. Charlie, unfortunately, you're not still in last one standing. Right, neither am I, Charlie, but let's go on from 35 down to 24.
Yeah, Paul, the good things won, all the lesser teams got beat.
Yeah, that's right. I see the guys went through Man United, Nottingham Forest and Wolves. They went through. Man City went out, Everton went out, and Bournemouth went out. That was where I was with 1-0 up, and out we went. But sticking to our 10%, the girls, 2 left. Tennille Werners, well done to her, and Sam Cooper Bull, Roger's wife, hanging tough, showing Roger up. She got better touch than Roger. And internationals, Stevie Potter and Ken just had his birthday, Ken Moby.
Ken Moby, He's only got one left now. Him and Robbie Talon had a couple, but they've only got one each left. So.
Funny other former champions there, Budge. You got Gary Citron without the E, Robbie Talon, Ernie Wallace,
Cape Town.
And Ken Moby.
Ken Moby, they got one each. Paul, you've got a list there, and I've got a few boys to mention as well.
I'll mention my list, and the majority of them are great mates here. Phil Georgia going well into the last 24. Michelle Narak, the TKO, going well. Lawrence Werners, still going well. Connor McNeil, Lyle's son. Rod van Rensburg, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Dick Goss Construction. Robbie Dalton, Sun City or Sun Sport, and Doug Staines retired.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, so well done to that group. Who have you got?
I've got a few lads left in Marco Govia, Adam Murta, Johnny Arthur, Josh Kidd, Mark Tuttle, Mark Jackson, Jay Naidu, Ryan Hensey, and Sasha Dupree. Guys, you've got nothing for 2 weeks. I think it's April the 1st or the 2nd. It's on the Tuesday is the next round. So you can gloat and chirp everybody, and you've got a bit of time until round 9.
Right, so that's it. But that's the last one standing. Now we're going to talk to our man Stevie B in his Fulham studio. He's going to tell us what's going on. I'm not going to talk about last week's games to Steve. We've had our chat off here. Well done for
Steve.
Fulham.
Cup final, Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Were they lucky to get 1?
Yeah. Well, probably yes. In the end, let's be honest. I mean, I think that I don't think anyone saw that one coming. Not necessarily. I think some people obviously thought Newcastle had a chance, but it's the way they did it. I mean, they completely dominated. You know, look, it's quite possible that Liverpool really did have a hangover after losing to PSG. I don't think they would use that as an excuse, but they weren't first out the blocks, and Newcastle, you know, their game plan worked exceedingly well.
Yeah, I just thought their midfield, they dictated the whole game. They went man for man. They won every battle, every tackle.
They were
what amazed me about
Burn was brilliant.
It just, I was critical of Slot the previous week when they were out at PSG. If you know they've only got one header of a ball in Dan Burn, every time Trippier got the ball, you knew where it was going.
And who did they put to walk him?
And they got the guys my size trying to block him.
Alexis.
And he's so far deep, you know, he took everybody out the near post, and you could see it coming. And but you saw when Liverpool had corners, Virgil van Dijk, who was marking him? Dan Burn. So why not just track him? But best team won, thankfully. My 14-1 better arrived. So now on to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, the glory, Paul.
Yeah, who did you go? Bournemouth.
Bournemouth FA Cup, 16-1 to get the final, 33-1 to win it. They've got Man City this week. After last week, I don't know, but I just think when you back a League Cup team, Paul, not in Europe, Good team, manager under pressure, and they will go for it. A lot of the teams don't go for it, so got lucky. So
good luck to the Magpies.
Good luck.
It's been a long time. Good to see famous faces in the crowd. And
brilliant. When you saw what happened, Shearer, how ecstatic he was.
They've got a book of excuses for people who didn't
I
make
think
work.
the thing is, it's good to see someone like Alan Shearer. Ultimately, he's a fan. He might have played for them, and he's played internationally, and the big, highest goal scorer in the Premier League. But on Sunday, he was a fan, and it's great. It's very 70 years is a long time to wait for a domestic trophy. So
I saw something on YouTube yesterday afternoon about headlines. Alan Shearer shaking his head. Dan something burn. Obviously, he won them a trophy that Shearer couldn't. So I'll actually be a chirp.
And deck footballers.
They were good luck to the Geordies. Well done, Steve. There's a few Nations League qualifier knockout games tonight. We didn't include them purely because it's Thursday, Sunday, and the betting wasn't really out, and it's hard to really judge. But we'll go through them quickly. Netherlands, Spain.
Yeah, I think you'd have to. Although it's the Netherlands, I think you're going to fancy Spain. I mean, they've won their last 5 in a row relatively comfortably. Netherlands, a little bit hit or miss. You're not quite sure what team you're going to get. I think Spain, if they've got a full strength out, side out, should be favourites. Yeah,
it'd be strange to see the strength of the sides. Croatia, France. You never know with the French World Cup final.
No, exactly. I think France should be favourites, but again, I think the number of teams going to have some players out. So I'm still fancy France. So the squad is far stronger.
Yeah. Denmark, Portugal, Danes at home, dangerous team.
Yeah, at home I think they're strong, not so much away. Portugal, you're never sure what you're going to get. I mean, they've got a fantastic squad of players that we know. So many play in the Premier League. Of the two, Portugal the stronger, but I think Denmark at home could give them a good game.
Steve, you're wrong. We know what we're going to get out of Portugal. Ronaldo and 10 others. That's all you're going to get from Portugal. And the 40. Oh, he's 40. He'll be playing till he's 50. Stan Matthews, great condition. The big game that I'll be watching is Italy, Germany.
Yeah, this should be a tight game. I mean, neither have shown a huge amount of form. They've won a few games. Germany by the odd goal. Again, at home, Italy should be the stronger of the two. But I think you're right. To me, the Spain game and this game should be quite entertaining.
Yeah, there are a few promotion relegation matches. Austria, Serbia, Turkey, Hungary, Greece, Scotland, and Ukraine, Belgium. So anyway, those will be on tonight and Sunday afternoon and evening. On to the World Cup qualifiers. On Friday they kick off. And the first game we've got is between Andorra and Latvia, Steve. Andorra, that's in the French Alps, somewhere there?
Yeah, I mean, look, from sort of France and Spain, it is hard to see beyond Latvia. Andorra are not as bad as they used to be. But you still fancy Latvia to get a result there.
Yeah, my cousin goes skiing there all the time. He says, beautiful place. But they play on an artificial surface. So you'd have to fancy Latvia, but they aren't any great shakes. Steve, England, Albania. Can Albania score?
They could do. They're not the worst side. I thought they acquitted themselves quite well in the Euros. So, the odds are sort of looking like England should win by any number of goals to nil. But, this could be a closer game than people think. England should win it. Not sure what sort of obviously it's Tuchel's first team that he's putting out. So you're not quite sure what you're going to get. I think England should win, but in probably no more than a goal or two. I think it could be quite close.
I think England will cruise past them. 5-2 Jude Bellingham to score any time. That's my bet. I wonder if the Bata, my Preston boy, I know he's in the Albanian squad.
Who's the Bata?
I wonder. I know Brozier's the main guy, isn't he? The guy that was at Chelsea, then Southampton. He's the main man, but
who's
hard
the
to look.
Striker?
Sorry?
Bro's the striker.
Yeah, Broja, he's Albanian. But you're right, they did play well in the Euros, but hard to see anything but an England victory. Steve, Malta, Finland. Don't you think 6-10 Finland is a decent price?
Bobby Lamont plays for Finland.
I think they should win. I mean, again, Malta are one of those sides. They're not the worst side at home, but you think Finland don't travel that well, but I think that they should just edge it.
Yeah, I know they were in Group B in the Nations League. They lost all 6, but Malta were in the lowest league and struggled to win. 6-10 Malta, Finland is for me. Poland, 1-7 against Lithuania. What do you think, Steve? How many goals can the Poles score?
Lewandowski.
Yeah, they should certainly be too strong. I mean, Lithuania don't travel particularly well. I think Poland should win that comfortably.
Yeah, that's one of the bets of the day, guys. Over 2.5 goals, both teams to score. No, I couldn't believe it was 17-10. So I think that's money from heaven. And last but not least, one of the big games on Friday, Romania, Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yeah, I think Romania will be favourites to win that. They had a sort of decent run in the last year or two, and I think they should win that.
Your man's a captain, Dragusin. Is he fit?
No.
Not.
No, he's out.
He's a glue in that back four. He's a decent player, him. So no, you never know. That Bosnia, I can't catch them. That Zeko and all those guys, But I agree. Romania at home, 8-10 looks inviting. On to the Saturday games, and the first one up looks like another mismatch. Liechtenstein versus North Macedonia. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, North Macedonia are a reasonably good side. Liechtenstein, again, one of those sides that everyone used to beat easily. They're better than they used to be, but I can't see them holding North Macedonia.
Yeah, they couldn't beat Gibraltar and San Marino in their 4 Nations League games, so one of the 25-1 at home. Moldova, Norway, Steve. I think Norway are going to have a great World Cup qualifying round. All the players you think, but they've got Sorloth and Haaland and Odegaard and Oscar Bob. I think they've got a great chance to get to the finals. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. This is the game that they have to target to win. They've been disappointing in recent campaigns.
Yeah, they have.
But when you look at some of the players they've got, and I would think that this is a game that they should win comfortably.
Yeah, I saw 12-10 Norway to score over 2.5 goals. I thought that was an absolute gift.
Absolute gift.
I'll be emptying out on that. The Czech Republic, Faroe Islands, surely another hiding, Steve?
Yeah, you would think so. Again, the Faroe Islands, tricky to play them away, but at home, the Czech Republic should be far too strong.
Faroe Islands have actually improved. They're in the C group of the Nations League, so they've gone above Malta and Liechtenstein and so, but the Czechs, comfortable victory. Israel, Estonia, Steve, how do you see it going?
Yeah, this should be a tight game. Obviously, it's not being played in Israel. I think that it's being played in Hungary. Israel should be too strong for Estonia.
Yeah.
They struggle against the bigger teams, Israel, but I think against Estonia they should win that. Yeah,
I watched a couple of their games in the Nations League. They were with France and Italy in their group, and they more than held their own bar one hiding. So 4-10 at home, I think that's a gift. Wales too strong for Kazakhstan.
Yeah, they should do. Kazakhstan again are a tricky side.
Yeah,
they're not the whipping boys as they were some years ago. But Wales, again, didn't have a good campaign last time. I think that they're going to look to start off with a win.
Who's in charge of Wales again at centre forward? Was it Man City?
They played for Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah.
Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy. Is he still in charge?
I think he is actually. I need to check that. I think he is. I don't think they've changed it.
Yeah, I just don't like the way they play. Without Gareth Bale, they've tactically, defensively they're sound, but don't score too many goals. But they've got to beat Kazakhstan. Steve, on to League One. A couple of games we've got. There's only 6 for the weekend. We've got Barnsley, Cambridge. Barnsley too good?
You would think so. I would expect Barnsley. I mean, they've had a slightly disappointing season for them. I think they were hoping to sort of be up there. Cambridge have picked up a little bit recently, but I think Barnsley should be too strong.
Yeah, I've got to fancy the Barnsley Butchers, as my dad always called them. Crawley versus Bristol Rovers. 2 teams on the edge of the...
Yeah. I think to me, it looks like they're betting the wrong way round. Crawley are the worst form team. I think at 1 point in 6 games. Bristol Rovers are no great shakes, but I think for me, Bristol Rovers should be favourites for that.
5-2.
The only reason I think the betting's that way, Steve, is Bristol Rovers have only drawn one of their last 6. They've only scored 1 goal, so maybe 5-2. The draw looks the right way, but desperation.
I think that's Crawley. Crawley have only drawn one of the last 6.
But Bristol away from home.
Away
from home, they've been woeful. Yeah. Saying and Lincoln City, Exeter City, Steve, mid-table clash.
Yeah, I think so. This should be a fairly tight game. Lincoln had a good win recently. I think Lincoln should be too strong, but I think there'll be a close game.
Now, Exeter, weren't they the team that played Forest in the Cup?
Yes,
they were done on penalties.
Yeah, they gave them a good game. Very unlucky to to not win that game in normal time.
Yeah, so you never know with Lincoln City. On to our final page, Northampton against Steve Bruce as Blackpool. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, Northampton gave Birmingham a good game last week, but I think maybe Blackpool might just be a little bit too strong for them. A little bit hit and miss Blackpool, I think. Yeah. They had a decent run when he first went there, but I think they should maybe just edge this.
That was Kevin Nolan in charge of that team. Peterborough, our boys the Posh, against Charlton Athletic.
They used to be in the Premier League.
Yep, Charlton. That's all our South African boys played for Charlton. Yeah. And Steve, I fancy Peterborough.
Kirbishley is the manager.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, well, Charlton are having a very good run.
Yeah.
They're top of the form, 1-5 and drawn 6. Their last 1-5 and drawn 1 of their last 6. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Charlton get a result.
Yeah, I know Charlton 10 out of 12. Listen, Peterborough at home don't get beat too often. Darren Ferguson's team. I think there'll be goals in that. That's one's. Looks certainty, but it's got a funny feeling that the Posh could sneak a result. And the big game is Wrexham against Stockport. Steve, how do you see it going?
Yeah, this will be a good game, but Wrexham at home relatively strong, and they're up there. They're up there in sort of joint second place, as it were. I think Stockport beat them in the other fixture when they played at Edgeley Park. But I think Wrexham are going to be too strong. I think for a side where they are, I think those are decent odds.
Yeah, and they beat Wickham, who were joint second, 1-0 away last week. So I think 14-10 Wrexham. You won't believe it, Steve. I went Wrexham to win and both teams to score yes. It was 11-2. Couldn't believe that price. I think there'll be goals. I know it's always tight, but I just think both of them are going to go for it, especially they both want automatic promotion. So I think there'll be a few goals more than expected, but I agree. Wrexham of the two sides. Steve, limited picks obviously, but who are you going for this week?
Yeah, I'm going to stick to League One because there aren't many good value bets in the Euros, World Cup qualifier. I think I'll go for Wrexham as my best bet. I just think that, I thought they might have been odds on rather than sort of 14-10. Yeah. And for my value bet, I'm going to go for Bristol Rovers. I think that although they're no great shakes, Crawley are having a really bad time at the moment. So I think there's a reasonably good value odds there if they come in.
Yeah, I totally agree on the weekend, Steve. I don't watch much of League One. I know we get a couple of clips of it, but I'm going for a team in America. I was going to go for your boys, the Vancouver Whitecaps, but they're a bit short. I'm going for Philadelphia. So my value bet, I'm going for Peterborough. I just think 18-10 at home. I know Charlton won 10 out of 12, but Peterborough at London Road always score, and they've got a cup final to look forward to, so I think the players will be fired up to get into that side that played Wembley.
Lineup,
So poor week, Steve. So next weekend we got the cup weekend and the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. So big game.
Preston Aston Villa. Oh, that's right. I see you the first game, Steve. Lunchtime.
Yeah, the lunchtime kickoff. Early one, 12:15 our time, so 2:15 your time. So definitely an early, especially with for us. We've still got a few players coming from different continents. They will probably have about a day's training before the game.
When do the clocks go back?
Saturday night.
That following that night.
It's the highlight of the week. The clock's going back. I just saw the times of Sunday's games. They're an hour early. I thought, brilliant.
Well spotted, Butch. Thank you, Steve.
No, they go forward.
Okay, well, for us, it's 2 hours, now it's an hour.
Back,
and waking 10 o'clock to watch a game, at least 9 o'clock's a lot better for us, But you guys, I don't think you notice much, do you?
Notice a thing. No.
Not really, no. It just means it's lighter in the evening. You just sort of notice that a bit more.
Well, you can sleep in an extra hour for the show, Steve.
Absolutely.
All right, Stevie, all the best. Thanks very much, Steve.
Yeah, cheers. Have a
See
good
you
one.
soon. All the
cheers.
best.
Bye-bye. Yeah, wonderful to speak to Stevie B.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about Bafana.
Yeah, Paul, I fancy us to get
Guy's done a good job.
Yeah, Hector Bruce. Paul, the next couple of games are going to be
Bruce.
crucial.
It's spelled
Bruce. B-R-O-O-S.
That's right, not Steve Bruce's cousin Hector. Okay, so he's got them on Friday. They're at home. Where's home game for them?
Polokwane. We're playing Lesotho in Polokwane.
We'll beat them.
Yeah, we got it. I think we'll
beat them. And then on Monday,
Benin away.
No, Paul, I don't know anything about Benin.
No, Paul, neither do I. But you have a look at the table. Rwanda, South Africa, and Benin have all got 7 points.
Oh, so they can play a bit.
You know, and I think they beat Nigeria. Then we got 5 points, Lesotho, and Nigeria have got 3. I had a look at the Nigerian squad, Paul.
Yes.
Crikey Moses, Osimhen and all.
Well, they've been down there 3 points.
Paul, they got a new coach now, so we'll see.
They haven't got a coach by the sound of things.
They got, but World Cup, this is a reality check now. They've got to go on a mission.
Yeah.
If they finish second in the playoffs, automatically.
So, how does it affect us for the World Cup, this group?
Well, if whoever wins it goes straight in.
Ooh. So if we can win these 2 games, we've got to be back in the scrum.
Great chance. Then we got Lesotho. They play their away games in South Africa. So we'll roll them again. And then we've got Nigeria at home. So big game, Paul. We've got to beat Lesotho, which I think we will do. And then we play...
Nigeria home's a big one.
Yeah, but Benin too. We just got to beat the lesser teams, Paul. Then we don't have to beat Nigeria. Yeah?
All right.
Paul, on to these games. You know, I had a look at all the squads and they've all their main players. Because it's a World Cup
They've all got their main players.
They've all got their main players, you know. I looked at Algeria's team. You know, they got Mahrez and all those boys still playing. He's in Saudi.
Yeah, he must be a wealthy man today.
Oh, guys, a lot of those players went to Saudi. Ben Rama, which they won the AFCON a couple of years ago, and several of their players got the money. They all disappeared. They're in the French weaker league, so...
All right, let's go.
Botswana, you never know. Botswana going well, but...
1-2 Algeria. Yeah. Too good.
Well, it's just Equatorial Guinea. Sao Tome, one of the worst teams in Africa. You can't take 1-5. And likewise the Congo. You know, that Visa from Brentford, he's the main man in that team. Do they
still play at home, Congo?
Yeah.
Okay.
And South Sudan are weak.
Who's their main man?
Visa from Brentford.
Brentford, eh?
They got Bakumbu. They've got players, Paul, you know. We don't really know too much about the team. South Africa
1-5, Budge.
Yeah, well, we should be, Paul. Lesotho.
And then
Paul, that's a big game. I fancy Nigeria. Rwanda are going well. They top of the group. They beat us 2-1. I watched it. But they play on an artificial surface. We played them, Paul. There was water everywhere. We were woeful. But Nigeria, it's just how it is. Iwobi and Lukman and all that squad.
Good players.
Paul, even money, I think, is a good bet, even though I don't want them to win. On to the second page, Ivory Coast as well, Paul. You look at their players; they're going well in this competition.
3-10, but
3-10, Paul. You just can't believe it. But
Ivory Coast got very good players, good players. And then
Egypt, they got Mamouche and Salah. They're both in the squad. They'll both play.
Both quality.
Paul, you know, they've just priced the odds out. Morocco, they were the best team. Amrabat and all those guys. The young guy plays right back for United's in the squad, so you got a fan. But 1-10, Togo, Mauritania. The guy that played for Arsenal, Mbe ran the pitch for Man City when he scored against him. Adebayor, was it Adebayor?
Yeah.
He played well. He was a Togo guy. They should get a result. And Senegal, Paul, they still got Mane and all the crew. But Sudan will give them a game, Paul. Sudan are top of the league. With 16-10, both teams to score. So that was
some interesting football.
Paul. Some good games, and most of them will be on TV, so at least we can watch them. But obviously, Bafana's are.
I'll be watching Bafana.
We'll be watching Bafana.
Let me know what your best bets are. I want to know.
We'll do. Paul, on to our soccer exotics for the weekend. These are Saturday. You know, 5 win and draws in a banker. I've gone Bradford City win and draw at home against Colchester United. Crawley Town win and draw at home against Bristol Rovers. Lincoln City win and draw at home against Exeter City. Blackpool win and draw against Northampton. Peterborough win and draw at home against Charlton. I'm chancing Rexford at home to beat Stockport County 192. On to the second soccer 6, 3 bankers, 3 fields. I've gone the field in the Spanish clash between Miranda's and Racing Santander. Cincinnati to beat Atlanta United in the MLS. Israel World Cup qualified to be too strong for Estonia. The field in the Granada versus Real Oviedo match. Minnesota United to be too good at home against LA Galaxy. The field in the Columbus Crew New York City match. That's 162. On to the soccer 10, I'm going Bradford City win and draw against Colchester. MK Dons win and draw away at Cheltenham Town. Going for Crawley Town win and draw at home against Bristol Rovers. Fleetwood Town win and draw at home against Tranmere Rovers. And I'm chancing Walsall to win at Gillingham. On to our second page, I'm going Lincoln City to avoid defeat at home against Exeter City. Blackpool win and draw at Northampton Town. Peterborough win and draw at home against Charlton Athletic, and ending up with 2 bankers, Swindon Town to beat Accrington Stanley and Wrexham to beat Stockport County. 256. There was no soccer 13. It wasn't out yet.
Okay,
So obviously we couldn't tip on it. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. I'm going Finland to beat Malta. Over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no in the Poland versus Lithuania fixture. And I'm going for Jude Bellingham to score any time, 5-2, because I think he'll start 2,800 to 200. I can't believe he's 5-2. On to our Saturday World Cup bet. I'm going Norway to beat Moldova and both teams to score. I'm going over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no in the Czech Republic Faroe Islands game, and Israel to beat Estonia 2,200 to 200. On to our team goals only. I've gone England, Poland, Norway all to score over 2.5 goals, and Israel to score over 1.5 goals, 2,400 to 200. On to League One, where I've done a treble. I've gone Wrexham to beat Stockport County and both teams to score. And then Lincoln City, Exeter City, Peterborough and Charlton, both teams to score for those 4 sides. Couldn't believe the price, 4,200 to 200. On to our World Cup CAF treble. I'm going South Africa to win and over 2.5 total goals against Lesotho. I'm going Nigeria to win in Rwanda and both teams to score in the Sudan-Senegal game, 2,000 to 200. Now, Collis King, 6 on Nixa. I'm going England to beat Albania, Finland to beat Malta, Poland to beat Lithuania, Israel to beat Moldova, Nigeria to beat Rwanda, and Philadelphia to beat St. Louis, 2,300 to 200.
Looks good, but looks good.
Paul, it's always difficult, you know, with the Nations League, the club's going to take precedence over the...
Yeah.
You know, and with the World Cup, you know the players are going to go for it, Paul. That's why I'd rather put the money...
Yeah, World Cup is
World
much
Cup
better.
is...
No, I can
you know,
see
players
that.
like Haaland, he'll score a hat-trick. I want to find out what price he is, because he'll be trying for a change, Paul.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Very interesting football. Don't forget to watch Bafana Bafana. Very important. We win those 2 games, Lesotho and Benin. They're very important. I'd love to see them at the World Cup. Till next time, stay on side.